Hello students, welcome back to the CAT videos from Careers 360. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the must-known concepts or the must-know concepts of geometry. You know, geometry, either you hate it or you love it. Either you can do everything in geometry or you can't do anything in geometry. In fact, let me tell you, despite my 25 years of experience in training for CAT, and Quant is one of the areas that I love, I always used to feel very jittery about solving geometry questions. But unlike every other area, geometry is one area, if you know the formula and a little bit of application of that formula, little bit, not even at the level of arithmetic I'm saying, algebra is bigger, I think you can easily pick up 9 to 12 marks in the CAT exam. Before I go into what are the concepts required for CAT, it's important to know that XAT also gives you a little bit of a geometry, and whichever exam, aptitude exam gives you geometry, knowing the fundamental concepts, the basic concepts can give you decent enough marks at a very short time, in a very short time. Let me explain this in a moment before we go into actually the concepts. In arithmetic, arithmetic is a red herring. Why it's a red herring? And it's true. And for algebra is a red herring for all your engineers. Because when you read a question, you feel, I can solve this. When you see that question, you feel you can solve it. And when you start solving it, you will never get the answer. Why? Because almost there is no formula in that. Almost there is no formula in that, while of course in some of the videos I talked about concepts in each of the sections, each of the topics, but you need to understand that it's almost the same concept being done in 4 or 5 ways. For example, time, speed and distance, there is one concept and you are doing it in the variations of that concept. And hence the difficulty of the question is based on or becomes very dependent upon how the question is framed. Geometry does not have that. Geometry is something, if you know, for example, there is something in triangles. If something on circumcenter is given, I'm giving an example. Either you know circumcenter or you don't know circumcenter. If something in parallelogram is given, either you know parallelogram or you don't know parallelogram. It's so easy to leave. If you know, you put the formula, you get your answer. If you don't know, you leave the question. That is the why. That is the reason why I would say I think it's a very important a topic, if I may say so, that you should prepare for CAT. Let's look at some of the most important concepts in that. So the first thing is the broad areas in geometry: angles, triangles, quadrilaterals, polygons, circles. You have 5 different things. Angles, there are not questions really, but understanding angles will give you answers for the rest of them. If you also look at what happened in CAT, 23, each of the slots, again on an average, 3 questions in CAT 23, 2 to 4 questions in 22, 3 questions in 21, 2 to 4 questions in 20, 6 questions in 19. Of course, the number of questions were higher in CAT 2019. But what comes around here is very simple, that hey, geometry can give you 9 marks, 6 minimum, 9 marks. And trust me, 15 marks will get you the cutoff, 85 percentile cutoff for even IIM Lucknow. So, one topic which does not require any great thought process except formulae and a little genuinely solving a few questions can get you there. Let's look at a little more detail into the subtopics in geometry. First is angles and triangles. What are there in angles? You need to understand what are parallel lines and transversal. Go back to your 9th and 10th classes. Probably take up your NCERT books. You don't even have to pick up any other funda books anywhere. You need to just pick up your NCERT and probably do this. They are very easy questions that way. Or what are corresponding angles? What are alternate angles? What are vertically opposite angles? The point I'm trying to make here is for you to do questions, and may not be questions come in directly in angles, but all these concepts will be utilized in triangles and quadrilaterals specifically. When you look at triangles as an area, the most important triangle that you need to remember, understand, and probably memorize, please mind this word, is right angled triangles. The interesting thing about the CAT exam, and again if I look at 30 years, I'm not even looking at the 5 years, every year after year after year, when you look at the questions that come in CAT, you will see that right angle triangle, if the sides are given, of course, if the angles are very clear, either it is 30, 60, 90 or it is 45, 45, 90. It's an isosceles right angle triangle or it's a 30, 60, 90 degrees right angle triangle, if it is angles. But if it is sides, you need to be very correct. You need to remember these triplets. Like 3, 4, 5 is a triangle. 5, 12, 13 is a triangle. 7, 24, 25 is a triangle. 8, 15, 17 is a triangle. 11, 60, 61 is a triangle, and like this. You don't even know to know anything beyond what I have put it on the screen here for you. Because if there is a question in CAT and they are, by visualizing it, you know that something is given 61, and you want to find out 61 is your hypotenuse, for example, and they are giving you a question where they are asking you the side of a triangle. By even visualizing it, you can answer that question as either 11 or 60. You can take that chance. Take these chances in your mocks that I'm telling you. You will find that it will be completely correct. Right angle triangle. Then equilateral triangle. This is another thing which will coming, understanding that, okay, root 3 by 4a square is the area of the equilateral triangle will be very important for you. Similarly, in right angle triangle, the area of right angle triangle is half base into height is always going to be very important too. Then isosceles triangle. Not really too much have come in, but if it has come in as an exam, it is isosceles triangle, isosceles right angle triangle, like I said a little bit while back. And then the basic concepts of what's a circumcenter, what's an incenter, what's an orthocenter, what's a centroid. I am saying each one is a concept, and that is the reason why this might take you a little more time than every other subject or topic in CAT, in Quant for that matter. And one very, if I were to call the theorem as such, is called the basic proportionality theorem. All these things, again, available in your NCERT books. Please go back to it. In fact, something very interesting Careers 360 has come out with for geometry. I'll tell you at the end of this video. Apart from angles and triangles, obviously we are talking about quadrilaterals and polygons. Quadrilaterals, rectangles, squares, rhombus, parallelogram, and what are the areas of those things and what are the angles in each of those things you need to understand. Then you need to understand what will happen if I join the midpoints of a quadrilateral. It forms a parallelogram. A very small point, but a very interesting point, because this one single idea has been used and utilized many number of times. What is a cyclic quadrilateral? Within a circle, how a quadrilateral is there, it's called a cyclic quadrilateral. What is the importance of it? The opposite, the sum of the opposite angles in that is 180 degrees. So total is 360 degrees, of course, which you know that. Understanding this concept will help you. Then when you talk about polygons, there are a few points that you need to remember. The sum of internal angles of a polygon. This is a very interesting concept. N minus 2 into 180. Or external angle of a regular hexagon, 360 by n, where n is the number of sides of the polygon. If there are 5 sides, it will be 360 by 5. If it is 6 sides, like a hexagon, 360 by 6 is 60 degrees, for example. It is very easy for you to remember that. One area which is interesting, one formula which is interesting again in polygons, which has come in CAT many number of times, is the number of diagonals. That's n into n minus 3 by 2. Again, those of you who are very good in permutations and combinations, you will be able to solve this very easily. It's NC2 minus n. There are n points in the circle, and NC2 is the number of lines you will have, minus n, the number of diagonals that you can remove, kind of things. But again, n into n minus 3 by 2 is a simple way to remember this. Regular hexagon, 6 equilateral triangles. Like I told you, 360 by 6 will give you 60 degrees in each of the triangles. All of them are same. The idea is, if you understand these concepts and look at the solution and also solve some of the questions which come in the CAT papers or the mock CATs, like I told you in other videos and this one too, that Careers 360 is coming out with 20 free mocks for you. 20 free mocks for you. I think great. And they're also compiled 10 original CAT papers with answers for you in a PDF format. You can see it in the links and download them. I think it's a fantastic way in which you can improve your preparation methodology and probably get your marks well. And the last one is the circles, subtopics in geometry, where circle also is a very, very important part of your prep. Certain theorems, if you're good at it, I would like you to go through it. If you're not good at it, I would say maybe, just maybe, you may want to avoid it if you have very little time for this. If you already know it, I want you to revise it. Areas like alternate segment theorem, angles made in a semicircle, this point called, this concept called angles made in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Angles made by the chord at any point on circle are equal, or angles made by chord at the center would be twice of the other side, or of the angle made on the other side. Tangents and lengths of the angles, angle made by the tangent and radius is the right angle. You know, all these concepts which are there in your circles basic NCERT books, and of course any funda books that you can pick up, will be very, very important for you. Last, the most interesting thing that Careers 360 has come out with you is that they have compiled study material on geometry into a PDF, geometry and mensuration. You can download it for free. Click on the I button to get this link. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications of all the videos that we are doing specifically for the CAT. Many videos, strategy videos, mistakes to avoid, study plans, and many more for the CAT preparation from Careers 360. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Until the next video, wish you all the very best.